Blog Talk Radio.
So the Most High is going to stop the flowing of the people going into that country. Read.
Jeremiah chapter 51, the end of verse 44. Yea, the wall of Babylon shall fall. Verse 45. My people, go ye out of the midst.
Hold up, read that again.
My people, go ye out of the midst.
I think within this chapter, he said flee and get out of her around 3-4 times. Right? Read.
My people, go ye out of the midst of her, and deliver ye every man his soul from the fierce anger of the Most High AHAYAH. And let your heart faint, and ye fear for the rumor that shall be heard in the land. A rumor shall both come 1 year, and after that in another year shall come a rumor. And
wars and rumors of wars. You're hearing about it, and because it's not happening, you think it's not going to happen. Read.
Verse 46, end of verse 46. And violence in the land, ruler against ruler. Verse 47. Therefore, behold, the days come that I will do judgment upon the graven images of Babylon, and her whole land shall be confounded, and all her slain shall fall in the midst of her. Then the heaven and the earth, and all that is therein, shall sing for Babylon, for the spoiler shall come unto her from the north, saith the Most High AHAYAH. As Babylon hath caused the slain of Israel to fall, so as Babylon shall fall the slain of all the earth. Ye that have escaped the sword, go away, stand not still. Remember the Most High AHAYAH afar off, and let Jerusalem come into your mind.
Listen to this clear. Ye that have escaped the sword, that means you escape the destruction that's coming to Babylon, go away and stand not still. So when you leave, remember the power or the God, AHAYAH, afar off, and let Jerusalem come into your mind. That's looking forward, not looking back. Now let Jerusalem come into your mind. She's finished. Right? Read.
Verse 51. We are confounded because we have heard reproach. Shame has covered our faces, for strangers are coming to the sanctuary of the Lord's house.
Strangers have destroyed us. Strangers have destroyed our sanctuary, our belief. They destroyed our understanding so that we cannot connect to our God. They've given us their gods. Baal, Satan, the dragon, Moloch. These are the gods we've been worshiping ignorantly. Jesus, Zeus. Okay, we ain't know nobody named Jesus. Total madness. And then when we wake up and understand these things, we say, well, hold up. I'm a stranger here. You dragged me here. And the Most High starts reviving us. They be like, okay, we have one who's the extremist. You're a terrorist. Read on.
Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 52. Wherefore, behold, the days come, saith the Most High AHAYAH, that I will do judgment upon her graven images.
He's going to destroy all your images and your idols. And man, if you even look at Washington, D.C., it's idol after idol, monuments of idols, obelisks, which is man's personal member. That's what an obelisk is. What's that, the Washington Monument? Idols every place. 5-pointed stars every place. But what if some did not believe? So what if you don't believe what we're teaching you? Paul asked, so what if some did not believe? Shall your unbelief make the faith of God without effect? You mean the Most High is going to stop his own program because you don't believe them? No, you're dead. That's what you are. Okay, his program was before us, and it will be well after us. And that's for the people that's walking out there. There's wars all the time. There've always been these situations. Every few years this happens. Nothing is going to change. That's a dead man.
All right. 5. Let me make sure you all can see and hear us. before the broadcast begins. Yes? Let's go. Okay, you can all hear me, correct? Shalom. All right. All right. All right, we just had a little technical difficulty, brothers and sisters. I'm streaming from a different location, so this is a makeshift studio, actually. So I'm glad you can see and hear us clearly. So yeah, let's jump right in. Let's go. Let's go. There'll be no need for this. All right. Thank you for your patience. That's right. Our dedicated brothers and sisters, thank you for your patience. Let's go. Hit the like button. Let's go.
The East is where we're from. The 12 tribes of Israel. In 721 BC, the Assyrian king, he took us down, we fell. With a great escape, we went through the Euphrates. The Lord held the water still. To a land where no mankind dwelt, we went. The 12 tribes of Israel. So we be Manasseh, the Cubans, we from Puerto Rico, the valley from the arms of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. From Panama, yeah, the North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominicans. AHAYAH gathering Israel. The Arabs and Africans told us, I got a point. To gather our wives and children and sold us. In the belly of these great ships we traveled in fear. By the rivers of Babylon we found our brothers here. AHAYAH gatherers in Colombia, Reuben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans. AHAYAH gathering the Negroes, Benjamin, the West Indians, Levi, the Haitians. AHAYAH gathering Israel. Asher in Colombia, Reuben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans. That's who we be. Judah, the Negroes, Benjamin, the West Indians, Levi, the Haitians. The Cubans, yeah, from Puerto Rico, the valley from the arms of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. From Panama, yeah, the North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominicans. AHAYAH gathering Israel.
That's right. The Most High's gathering Israel. I'm Elder Ricard Shiar of the Gathering of Christ Church here, along with Elder Lawyer in preparation for the Passover next week. This is why you understand there was a makeshift technical issue, but don't worry about it. We're still here before you. And because guess what? We have a great broadcast leading up to, that's right, Passover Day. Okay. We're going to try as much as we can to squeeze some time out of tonight, knowing that there's some technical issues where I am in my current location. I apologize for that. If there's reoccurring issues, worst case scenario, I'll break down and we'll do a broadcast for you again before the Sabbath. All right. If it's blurry, don't worry about it. Okay. We're doing the best we can with what we have. Okay. We don't have our cameras here. That's the best I can do. The best I can do right now, I'm actually broadcasting from my camera on the Macintosh. So let me make sure. Make sure y'all can all see and hear me clearly here. Right? Yes? You should be able to see and hear me clearly. All right. Better yet, let me y'all should be able to hear me nice here, right? Right? Y'all can hear me clearly? Sound is good? All right. Okay. Okay. Well, I do apologize because we are in preparation for the Passover next week. That's right. From Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, we're going to be here in PA. Of course, it's going to be the body on the East Coast. We're going to be doing this also in Texas, on the West Coast, and the Midwest, even overseas. And we thank all the brothers and sisters who are behind organizing this. I mean, it's a tedious task, but brothers and sisters are up for it. And we do appreciate all the love and the support we've gotten from all of you throughout the years, leading us to this point where we can actually do something as a people, gather together in the spirit of the Most High at a time appointed according to the heavens. And that's right. And that's right. According to the heavens. A lot of people were confused to why the Gathering of Christ Church last Saturday was saying Happy New Year's, while the Jewish people and the Gentiles and others, even Israelites, are wondering, like, what's going on? How can they be saying New Year's almost a week earlier than when Amalek tells us to do so? Well, look outside. Okay, look outside and notice, look at the weather before Saturday and examine how the weather changed right on point according to the intercalary Sabbaths, according to the Most High, how to break down seasons. Okay, so just look outside. Don't listen to the devil. Okay, look outside and examine your weather right after Friday sundown and Saturday sundown of last week. Right? So obviously the Most High have given us something that was in place since the beginning, but yet the Gentiles have deceived us. The Bible will tell you in Daniel 7:25, they shall think to change time and laws. And once the children of Israel, our forefathers, once we fell as a people, subsequent to that, keep in mind, we fell to the Babylonians. And Babylon was keeping time according to the lunar calendar, which means they only followed the moon only. Okay. And by doing so, each year comes up 10 days early, throwing off the course of time. Okay. So keep in mind, the Most High warned Moses. He warned the patriarchs not to follow anything outside of his Sabbaths, or the holy days will get thrown off. He warned us. That's why he said, remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. All of our holy days, even the changes of seasons, are calculated based on these Sabbaths. And this is why the Gathering of Christ Church said Happy New Year's last weekend, while everyone had a question mark over their head to why we were doing so. Okay. But of course, if you've received your calendars, you're right on course with the heavens, okay? Because this didn't come from the gathering of Christ Church. Time was calculated since the beginning when the Most High made the heaven and earth in 6 days and rest the seventh day. This time was calculated since back then. It's just that our people, when we fell, that's right, we fell off course with time. So get your calendar, go to gatheringofchrist.org. Okay. And right now, because of the technical issues here, unfortunately, I'm not able to bring in a picture of Elder Lawyer. But Elder Lawyer, are you with me? Yes? You have to be there somewhere.
Yes, sir. Shalom.
Hey, yeah, you're louder than me. Shalom. I just wanted to make sure they can all hear you. I'm going to dive right into our broadcast. And the reason why we're going into this lesson, brothers and sisters, is going to be very quick. And then subsequent to that, we may take a few calls, and then I have to do some preparation. We have a lot of preparing to do. I have stuff to put together. There's a lot in store in preparation for the Passover. So excuse me if I can't spend as much time this evening as we usually spend with you. Okay. So Elder Lawyer, you're loud and clear. Excellent. Now, one moment. All right. All right. Right here. All right. Going straight in. All right. Our broadcast, Lord have mercy. Okay. Our broadcast this evening. All right. All right. Life from the dead, the awakening. Okay. Something is going on in the earth. The enemy understands. Some of our people who know we're Israelites can understand. But yet there's many confused to what's really happening prophetically. A lot of people lukewarm in the middle. And what I thought I would do is really going up into Passover is to actually quantify what this life from the dead, the awakening is, and what our responsibility in the awakening is. What is our responsibility to this awakening, right? What are we prepared to do now that we're woke? And the perfect example of understanding what path one must take is understanding what Christ did, what he did for us. We're in some changing times right now, and most people are confused to exactly what's going on prophetically. Not us, not those who believe in the Bible. So when we talk about life from the dead, the awakening, what exactly is that according to the Bible? Now, a few years ago, we kept hearing through mainstream articles, mainstream media, YouTube, New Agers, there was a word out there. There was a statement concerning the changing of times. And the Gentile nations were calling this, what we're living in now, the age of Aquarius. And a lot of that flew right over our heads. Not concerning that they're saying that it's an age of Aquarius, but obviously people somewhere in this earth understand that there's a changing of times that affects society going forward. They're charting something. Unfortunately for us as a people, we're just trying to survive. Age of Aquarius meant absolutely nothing to us. It flew right over our head, but actually it tells us some people somewhere with knowledge is charting the future in ages, okay, for their purpose. And we're just surviving. We're just trying to live, feed our families, make sure our children are good, paying the rent, while the whole earth is preparing for a paradigm shift. But unbeknownst to our people, the reason why the Gentiles and the others were stating that we're entering an age of Aquarius, because it had everything to do with the prophetic awakening of God's people and how it would affect the pagans. So they was going into a new age in which they could no longer deceive us. So who did that? Was it organic that out of nowhere, going on with our daily routines, automatically out of nowhere, we begin to understand things we've always longed to understand? That out of nowhere, we were just going about our daily routine and something popped up on the internet. Or a family member or someone said, yo, you need to check this out. Out of nowhere, things started to resonate that led us to understand that we were the children of Israel. That wasn't a coincidence. Okay? That was a communication. That means that our God has done and is doing his part according to prophecy. But what are we doing? He's doing exactly what he's reaching right through the darkness, giving us the light. But with that comes responsibility. What is our responsibility in this awakening? See, because the Gentiles were like, okay, we can no longer deceive them. We can no longer kick this lie, this deception, this can down the road. Eventually, we're going to have to contend with what's going on grassroots with these people. So when you think of coronavirus, think about all this other stuff and stopping people from traveling and all this, folks, it all goes back to the awakening and what the Gentiles labeled age of Aquarius, a change. So what I wanted to go into today, leading up to this Passover, where this awakening began to come into reality prophetically through Christ. Moving into this Passover that's coming this week, I want to quantify the awakening. So not only keep in mind, first of all, to appreciate what was done for us and allowing God's people to have a second chance at the covenant. Okay, that's first and foremost, to appreciate that sacrifice, even though none of us with our sins were red as crimson. None of us was worthy, but yet he died. He became that sacrifice and showed that example to give us an opportunity in the awakening to face our enemies and to tell them once and for all that their kingdom will soon end. That's Christ resonating through the elect. So what is our responsibility understanding this? In appreciation for what he's done for us. What is required by us for such a gift? And I want to talk about that today. Someone saying, well, the screen is messed up. That's okay. I'm going to go as long as I can. And then after that, we probably do another makeshift broadcast next this coming week, or we'll just pick it up this Sabbath. Okay. Now, and I apologize. There's nothing I can do. Right now, we're dealing with duct tape and Gorilla Glue right now. Okay. Now, Elder Lawyer, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Elder Lawyer, when it comes to the awakening, right? I need you to let's go back to the past. Let's go back to when we were still in Israel. And there arose an enemy, an Edomite by the name of Antiochus Epiphanes, right? Where the Gentiles would work to put us to sleep. Let's go back there first, right? Let's go back there first.
Yes, sir.
Let's go to the book of Maccabees in the Apocrypha. Okay, let's go.
Yes, sir. First Maccabees chapter 1. I'll start at verse number 13.
Yeah.
Then certain people that were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen.
So
Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem.
now what happened was, in order to put us to sleep, they had to bribe our leaders. Now, brothers and sisters, we're talking about somewhere between about 200 years before Christ would come on the scene, when Antiochus Epiphanes popped up. Somewhere in between that, 200 to 150 years before Christ was on the scene. We were wide awoke as a people in Judea. Okay. For those who don't know it, okay, let me make this clear. We are the original Jews. We are the Israelites. We converted white people and others as a statement of diplomacy if they were willing to respect our God. So the Gentiles, you have to realize, in order to destroy that information and to destroy that reality from us, they had to be very patient and calculating. So this thing didn't just start yesterday and us not realizing who we are, in need of an awakening. I'm talking about 200 years before Christ, there arose a Greek, an Idumean, an Edomite, an Amalekite by the name of Antiochus Epiphanes. And so what he wanted to do is, he says, well, listen, these people are great. We can utilize the spirit in these people, but we must first control their leaders. So he says, you know what? Let me give their leaders, the intellectuals amongst them, a what? A license to do what, Elder Lawyer?
Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen.
Gave them a license to do after the ordinances,
Whereupon,
the ordinances of the heathen. Right? Listen to this clearly. So when you see people like doctors, people that are held in high regard, that went to HBCUs, these are they that the power structure uses to keep us asleep. They went to the king and said, give us license to do after the heathen. We're willing to take sides with you against our own nation. See? Come on.
verse number 14, whereupon they built a place of according to the customs of the heathen.
Come on.
And made uncircumcised, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to Jew.
It says we sold ourselves to the
Jumping down to verse.
to the heathen. Read.
It says, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief.
And was sold to do mischief. That was our people. Read.
Jumping to verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws.
And everyone
so all the heathen agreed to the.
And everyone should leave their laws. Read.
So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
Read that.
Yea,
Read that whole.
many of the Israelites.
Keep in mind, lawyer, there's a little feedback or delay between when I'm speaking and you speaking, I think. So I'm gonna just let you read the whole thing out and then I'll respond back, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go on.
All right. Verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his holy kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed to according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah that they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days.
That they should do
and
what?
Pollute the sanctuary and holy people.
Hold up. That they should do what?
That they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days.
So the Gentiles were working so that we would teach our children to profane the holy days given to us by the God of Israel. So they replaced our days and rewarded us following their traditions. Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving. That was the reward, to give you days off and bonuses, paychecks and bonuses for those particular days as a reward for us turning our back on the God of Israel. This is what led to our captivity. Read.
Yes, sir. Verse 46. And pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, that they should leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, that they might forget the law and change all the ordinances.
That they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. Hence the reason why when we were saying Happy New Year's last weekend, the majority of the people in this earth, including the Israelites, were confused. We're saying Happy New Year's when the heavens is in agreement with the seasons according to Sabbaths. We're saying Happy New Year's according to the season that the Most High proclaimed from the beginning, transitioning from winter to spring, what they call spring. It's quite that simple, because the Most High putting us back on code, on schedule. The whole world, confused by Gentiles, may view what we're doing as strange. But what we're doing is a part of the awakening. Is what the enemy spent much time and resources, that's right, to keep from our people. When we begin to deal with the Sabbaths and the holy days and the time and schedules according to the heavens, thou shalt be done in earth as it is in heaven. We are connecting on a higher frequency with our God. When we're celebrating holy days, these days are being held in the heavenly realm by the Most High and his angels, while the whole world is out of course. At the same time, the whole earth is doing whatever, not even realizing that they're out of balance with creation, with the God who has made us. Are y'all following me here? What else you have on that, Elder Lawyer?
That's it, sir.
Now, so the Most High prophesied that there would be an awakening. Again, the power structure have coined this as the age of Aquarius. Who would awaken us? Let's go. Let's go prophetically, Elder Lawyer. Let's go to Hosea, the 6th chapter, Ezekiel 37. And let's go into the report of Christ in the book of Isaiah.
Hosea chapter 6, verse number 1.
Come on.
Come and let us return unto the Lord, for he hath torn and he will heal us.
So now
he hath smitten and he will bind us up.
Okay, it's saying now come Most High. It's time to return. Began to hire taskmasters within our nation to keep us subservient, and they would reward certain of us who was willing to turn their back on our God and teach others to do so. Hence the reason why our children, our families have been living a generational curse according to prophecy. But the Most High said, well, listen, that time is done. You've served up the sum. You've served long enough. It's time to come back. You need to know what's meant for you prophetically, and how, according to the Bible, brothers and sisters, we weren't born to serve any other people. And that reality must click in. And obviously it's kicking in as far as the Gentiles are concerned, because they see that we're coming back to the knowledge of being Israel. And what that mean, according to the Bible, that you and I, we are free people. We weren't meant to serve any other nation. On the contrary, it was meant for the nations to serve you. It was meant for them to serve you. So imagine how the power structures under Satan. Think about those that control those power structures and what they're thinking right now. Understanding that if we know that we're the children of Israel, they immediately do what? Begin to look into their economics. How does this economically affect their system? A system that was economically built on the back of slaves. What happens when those slaves realize, according to prophecy, that they were born to be free? What happens? It disrupts the world as they know it. So now God is saying in Hosea the 6th chapter, what? He's saying what? There's going to be a certain time where I will begin to revive my people within that second 1,000th year, not at the year 2000, within the year 2000. Because according to the Bible calculations, a day isn't over until it's over. You're in the day until it's over. And that applies to a week, month, or year. It's not counted until it's finished. The evening and the morning, when you go back to Genesis, the 1st chapter, was the first day. So the first day wasn't counted until it was complete. So when it says, in 2 days will I revive you, it's not saying by a year 2000. It prophetic Christ coming on the scene to die for our sins. Within 2,000 years from that point, he would begin to revive his people, the people who lost their identity, the valley of the dry bones. And that would disrupt the Gentiles to a degree in which the Gentiles would have to have all types of private councils. They would have to get together and symposiums and discuss what this is and work together to keep us suppressed or oppressed. And this is what the Gentiles coined the age of Aquarius. They're tipping off the other nations and saying, well, listen, it's time for us to rally together, all together. Now that the children of Israel are no longer living under the spell, they know now. So you're going to have all types of components coming out because people just focus on the white man. The white man couldn't do this alone. So now Japheth, who've been operating the whole time with Esau, and that's Chinese, they're coming on the scene, showing their hand now and saying, well, listen, Esau, don't worry about it. We'll take care of them. And that's the time have entered the suppressed and oppressed. At the very age of their age of Aquarius, it went right back to the Babylonian, Asian, New Age philosophy. It's the age of Magog to look to come in and try to circumvent us. But we see you. And this is why they transitioned all the jobs out of the Western world that used to be for our parents making cars, and our people who were astute doing certain things in the industrial age within our communities, making sure we would have generational wealth. That's why they took all that out of the poor neighborhoods and shifted to China to undercut us, to undermine us. Okay. And now there's no more use for us. They're looking to put our people down through euthanization. And that's why it started over in Wuhan and all that. Now they come in as doctors. Now everything is Asian. When the Most High says he would put hooks in their jaws in Ezekiel and turn them back into this war, Japheth have hid themselves for a long time. And we know exactly who they are. In the ancient Bibles, or the older Bibles before the King James Version Bible of the Old Testament, it's clear in certain translations, it doesn't say Magog at all. It says China. They outright worship the dragon. So we're looking at Amalek and Esau, and yes, they're at the helm of it. But now they're sicking China on us. And when they say it started over in China, don't believe anything. All those labs and all that, the monetary system and all that is ran by white people. They're going to use Asians by proxy to attack our people. And I'm putting it out there right now so you'll know. Don't deal with the movies where they try to align themselves with us like they're cool and all that. Don't deal with none of that. They're trying to circumvent us from the inside. Don't believe the hype. Let's get back to it. Come on. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Hosea chapter 6, verse 1. Come and let us return unto the Lord, for he hath torn, and he will heal us. He hath smitten, and he will bind us up. After 2 days will he revive us, and the third day he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight.
And we shall live in the Most High's sight. We shall live in the Most High's sight. It's us again with the Almighty, our God. That's why we're getting back on code with the Almighty and saying nix these holidays of the fallen gods, that we're getting back with our Sabbaths, Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. That's why we're nixing the holy days according to calculations of the moon. It doesn't make mathematical sense. It's utterly ridiculous. The moon followed the sun in courses. You must use both together, solar and lunar, to declare what a new year is. The last day of a calendar year, according to the Most High, ends with equal parts night and equal parts day. That's the 363rd day of the year. Equal parts night, equal parts day. It was even in the beginning when the Most High put light. And then there was a time where it would be equal. And then at that point, the Most High would begin to tick into a new year or a new age after equal parts night, equal parts day. You count 52 Sabbaths, 364 days, 52 Sabbaths, 5 and 2, 7 gives you a complete calendar year according to the heavens, and that time never changed. And the holy days come into play. From that equal parts night and equal parts day, you count 14 days from the beginning of the season, and you have Passover, the second Friday in the new year. While the Gentiles is preparing for Easter. That's why they have set all their calendars and all that to do what? To shift all of the energy of our people praising the God of heaven. And they have shifted that so that our people would worship and take our energy to worship lesser gods. Semiramis, the queen mother of heaven, now they call Mary. Ishtar, she have many names. The Virgin. And they have shifted all that energy from us dealing with the Passover and the significance of it. Because if it wasn't for the Passover, there would be no awakening. To shift all of that into Easter Sunday. And we're saying, no, we've been revived. No more paganism. We're giving all of our prayer, all of our energy, all of our spirit, not to the Gentile gods or religions, but to the God who made us, the God of Israel. Elder Lawyer, let's go to Ezekiel 37.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ezekiel 37, verse 1.
Come on.
The hand of the Lord was upon me, and carried me out in the spirit into the wilderness, or set me in the midst of a valley which was full of bones, and caused me to pass by them round about, and behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry.
They were very dry. Now,
and he said unto me,
now let's talk about these dry bones. A lot of you don't know about this, but in the 90s, there was excavations at a time where cameras was the in thing. After Kodak cameras, and then there was Canon cameras. There was excavations coming out of China where they would go into the darkest parts or the most ran down parts of Harlem to have an excavation to see the case of our people during the crack epidemic. That's when you couldn't find a Chinese person without a camera. And they would pay from China to go into Harlem to chronologize and to physically document the fall of the children of Israel. They would take pictures and all that, because guess what? It was an amazement for the people back in China or in Asia. They can only hear or see something like this on TV, like zombies. And you would have Chinese people, they had bus excavations where they would fly in to actually go into Harlem to see the conditions of a torn people, a destroyed people. It was an amazement to them. A lot of you didn't even know this existed. Look it up, folks. They had trips to come in because, folks, it was like dark tales that people wouldn't believe in unless they seen it. How can you have people walking around? It's not normal people stuff. It was a CIA, the government. They cooked up some stuff and strategically put it in our neighborhood to turn us into zombies. We became an amazement, a spectacle. And some thought that our people wouldn't make it through that era. But folks, the Gentiles look at us and it's like, man, these people don't die. There's something special about them. Most people thought we wouldn't make it through. They left us for dead. They left the children who were born from the crack era for dead. But yet the children of God survived. They knew we were the children of Israel. You lost your history. You lost your knowledge. They didn't. They left us for dead. They thought we were shooting each other. Everyone wanted to be Nikki free or this, that, and the other, or Biggie Smalls, Frank Nitti, Scarface, killing each other, funeral almost every week, killing each other, shooting each other over a corner, selling crack cocaine to our sisters, turning our sisters out. I grew up in it. I've seen how this personally affected. This hits home because this is I don't know a household growing up on my block that this didn't affect. Folks, that was a religious warfare against us. That was sorcery by the enemy. You think it's all about capital, money. The people that rule have enough money. This is deeper than that. This is about power. The power they know that prophetically belongs to us. And that as long as we breathe, eventually we'll take it. Listen to what we're showing you here. Finish reading.
Yes, sir. Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 3. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord God, thou knowest.
He said, listen.
And he again said unto me.
And Ezekiel was like, and then he says, do you think these bones can live? And when the prophets seen this, because they seen the future of our people, destitute, lost, with no knowledge, no understanding of themselves. Even the prophet said, Lord, only you know if these people can live. They're confused. They tore down. They're confused in all different ideologies and religions. They hate each other. The whole world is passing them by. And the only thing, if the prophets come forth, they'll spit on the prophets. They'll kill the prophets. Anyone who try to pull them out of their psychosis, they turn on. Anyone that's for their benefit, they'll kill. But yet, they'll stay aligned in lockstep in total respect of the enemy who have always oppressed them. And here it is, the prophets is seeing this. He's seeing these crabs in a bucket. That when they have any type of vitriol or assertion or aggression, it's not against those who've oppressed them. It's like zombies, like the prophets are asking, Lord, only you know if these people can live. If you send prophets, they'll kill them. The only people they are in lockstep with in respect are those who've oppressed them and those who have used them. If you send someone, they'll kill them. Only you know if these people will live, Lord. Read, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. Verse number 4. And again he said unto me, Prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord.
Hear the
Thus saith the
word.
Lord God unto these bones, behold.
Hold up. Hear the word of the Lord. You can think that this Bible are just, words on a page if you want. If they were just words on the page, the enemy, through all his ideologies and religions, wouldn't be aligned against it as such. If if the Bible was just another book like any other book, then all people would respect its value on an equal level than any other book they respect. But why all of the Gentiles are in agreement that the Bible must go, that the Bible is the bad thing, that the Bible shouldn't be read? Why are all the Gentiles in agreement with hating the Bible? Because they know it's the only book that can revive these bones. I can't find myself in Asian ideology and New Age religion. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if there's positives within its ideology. It don't resonate with me because it don't tell me how I got here. It don't tell me why my people are suffering. See, in every religion, it can give you some tips in life that can help you within this world. But no religion out there can give us the origin of how a certain people, a great people as such, have fell to such a pass. You can't get this out of the Gita. You can't get this out of the Egyptian Book of the Dead. You can't get this out of no Asian records. Nowhere. When we ask people, well, how did we fall to such a pass? The whole room goes silent and minds go blank. Why? I can look in the Bible and show you what happened to the children of Israel in Egypt. I mean, what a great story, right? You would think that a people who have fell to such a pass, who are suffering a worse captivity than what happened in Egypt, could be chronologized and quantified. But as soon as you, with all your knowledge you have with your book, you cannot tell us how our people fell to such a pass prophetically. You know what? You can. We can. We can. See? Because he told the prophets, listen, prophesy unto these bones. Let them hear this word. It may not save all of them, but a remnant will arise out of the ashes to fight the enemy spiritually. Listen to what we're showing you here. Come on, other lawyer.
Yes, sir. Verse 5. Thus saith the Lord God unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am the Lord.
And ye shall know that I am the Lord. You're going to know I was with you the whole time. The enemy left you for dead. They've been trying to kill you since the fall. They've been contemplating a time in which they can set up a system that can outright demonize a race of people, in which the system could politically go against us strictly for being who we are. And here we are now. Look at where we are. Look at the political climate right now, where all of a sudden something that popped up in Wuhan, China, like I've mentioned, all of a sudden is causing issues in Harlem, in strategic black areas where we live. And all of a sudden, this thing doesn't have no problem with the suburbs and have every problem with all the issues we've exhibited, with the majority of the issues being propagated against us through what? Through their medicines, through their eugenics. So the majority of issues that they claim that's disproportionately affecting us are man-made. Scientific weaponry against us, diabetes, high blood pressure, GMO foods, no good health care. All of this was strategic so that they can say, well, these people need it the most. Folks, if you can't see exactly what's going on right now, this is a direct attack against the awakening, against you. And I'm going to tell you why the power structure hates this awakening so. Why, out of everything that's out there, Black Panthers, Nation of Islam, whatever, why do they hate Israelites so? You know why? Because they're running to the one ideology that they may view as an ideology that they cannot co-op. They can't come in and co-op because you're coming in as a what? As a student. You're not coming in here circumventing nothing. The first time they've seen something that they can't come in and lock arms and try to co-op and circumvent. That's the reason why they hate the movement or the awakening so. Because they can't find a way to co-op it. Okay. So, but when they create their organizations to be able to co-op it, it's actually within the mechanism that they create. The NAACP or this, that, and the other. When they create these mechanisms, these political circles are made for a way in which they can control us from the top. This is why they hate the awakening so, folks, because this awakening cannot be circumvented because they didn't create it. Just like you had Fard Muhammad come, an Arab, a Middle Eastern come. He's the father of the Nation of Islam. Look him up, Fard Muhammad. They had all these circumventers come in, and eventually, if it can be circumvented, eventually they can discredit it. But this is why they hate the Israelites and the movement of it, the movement of this awakening. For the first time since America, the inception of America, there's something that arose organically that they had nothing to do with and that they cannot control. And the powers that be are paranoid. Listen to what I'm showing you here. Finish reading, other lawyer, come on.
Yes, sir. Verse number 6. And I will lay sinews upon you, and bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. So I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone. And when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came up upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them. Then said he unto me.
Come on.
Verse 9. Then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith the Lord, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and breath came into them, and they lived, and stood up upon their feet, an exceeding great army.
And this is what they fear, brothers and sisters. This is what they fear. Not a physical army, but a spiritual army led by the heavens. Led by the heavens. When you get this understanding, brothers and sisters, it comes with a responsibility to the death. And they understand this. Christ, the disciples, and those who follow. They understand this. And the enemy, they're not going to bear you standing for something to the death in which they don't benefit from. Okay? You are supposed to, patriate yourself with the system, with the Satanist. And that's why when you die in their wars, they put out there and put a flag, give you a flag, and they say what? You've given the ultimate sacrifice. You died for their army. See? You died for their army when you're supposed to sacrifice for your nation first. That's what it's about spiritually. If I'm going to go out, it's going to be for my people. See? So they know that this great army, this spiritual army, is people who will give their life for the kingdom to come, that will not sell out to the system. Like these bootlicks that you call doctors, who are now selling out their people. These bootlicks like lawyers and like nurses, who, like it says in the book of Maccabees, went to the king to get licensed to do as the heathen, coaxing their people to take the poison. See? You're not going to have that. When you are a part of Christ's army, his spiritual army, your life means something. The Most High have given you your life back as a child of Israel, as a child of God. And any sacrifice that goes down is the same sacrifice that Christ gave for a kingdom, laying a foundation and a sacrifice for his kingdom. What do you get when you sacrifice yourself for any other kingdom? What do you get? You get a folded flag. That's what you get. So when it comes to sacrificing, going into the Passover, that's what we're talking about. Going into Christ's life, to understand that with this work comes what? A duty to God and your nation, to serve him righteously. And guess what? And by doing so, you make even this world a better place. So it's not saying just to renounce the laws of the land. No, it's not saying that. Because there are laws of the land which align with God's law. But you will not be compromised. Any law of the land that compromise your duty with God is an evil law. Elder Lawyer, finish reading where it says an exceeding army. Read.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Yes, sir. Verse number 10. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and breath came in unto them, and they lived and stood up upon their feet, an exceeding great army.
Come on.
Then he said unto me, son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel.
Hold up now. Hold up.
Behold.
Hold up now. These bones are the whole house of Israel, who've been scattered into different parts of Africa, who was here in the Americas when Edom got here, the North American Indians, the Baliqua Taino Indians, the Jamaicans, those that were conquered by Rome. This is the whole house of Israel, and Judah has awakened the house of Israel. He says these people who was once on crack, left for dead, being used by the other nations, totally destitute, without hope. They're not just regular people. These people, the valley of the dry bones, are the people of God. See, the enemy didn't want you to know this, because what? When you begin to take on that identity, then you begin to inquire, well, okay, what is it to be this new creature for God, this new creation, this new enlightened one? That's what they fear. Not that you're going to pick up some religion, but it comes with a culture. It comes with do's and don'ts. The nations can no longer use you like you used to, because what? You have morals. You have a foundation to stand on. an unmovable foundation that they can now no longer, listen to me clearly, they can no longer take advantage of you like they used to. Because it's a regal spirit. It comes with what? Some level of regality. It comes with what? It comes with a passion to stand for something. That's not a slave. So he says, with this identity comes a responsibility. This is the whole house of Israel. And now people are waking up and asking questions like, well, okay, I might have been focused on what the white man is talking about. What is this Israelite thing? Now that I know I'm Israel, what is my responsibility to my God with this title? Now that I have this title, that's what they fear, because your God is above all the gods of any race on this earth. Okay? And when you come to your God, that does what? That takes power from the gods the Gentiles gives energy to. See? You're up here, and now their God and them are down here. But when you follow their religions, you're subservient to the nations who give their spirit to Satan and their worship to Satan. Now you put the, by you worshiping Asian gods and Arab gods and African gods, you put their gods up here and you're down here. You're the bottom floor. You become the base of the pyramid, a slave. A slave. Come on, let's go.
Yes, sir. Then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, our bones are dry and our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts. Therefore prophesy and say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, O my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come up.
Go ahead, Elder Lawyer.
I will open your graves and, yes, sir. I will open your graves and cause you to come up out of your graves, bring you into the land of Israel.
And bring you into the land of Israel. Notice he says that I'm going to awaken you and bring you out of your graves, your ignorance, your slave mind, and you're going back. This is no political agenda that was set up through some Germans and some Europeans to get Palestine. This is prophetic. Because when you begin to understand your Israel, a yearning comes to understand what it means to be an Israelite. And what happens? That earth, that mother, Jerusalem, calls out for her children. That we as a people will stay unsettled until the land comes back to us. And this is what the Gentiles know. Hence the reason why Amalek, being Esau, is over there right now and claiming the land. And when you rule the land, you rule the earth. That's the Garden of Eden. That's the area that was given to the first man with dominion, Adam, not Africa. So this is why they don't mind if you being into Afrocentric Egyptology. They don't mind that because they're not looking to get Africa. If they control Israel, they'll control Africa. Because with the name comes territory. We didn't become Israelites until we went into the land of Canaan. And at that point, that land was named Israel. Hence the reason why they don't want us calling ourselves Israelites. Because why? When we begin to pray to the Most High and now have the knowledge prophetically out of the Bible of the conspiracy the Gentiles use to keep us in bondage. They are afraid that we're going to come together and unite, no longer fight each other, and pray to that God who saved Israel from the Egyptians. That's what they fear. They want to keep us infighting. They want us to keep us against each other, because when we unite in prayer, our prayers go into the heavens. It goes into censers before God, and the angels respond back to minister unto the righteous, to guide us to freedom. That's why they like the infighting and the hatred and the variances. Satan tried to do everything he could today so that I didn't broadcast this tonight. You wouldn't believe what I went through, and I don't even care, folks. If the video's grainy, something isn't right, these words will resonate. The quality and all that doesn't matter. Hence the reason why they would never want us to take on the name of Israel, because with Israel, when you read this Bible, comes territory. It comes sacrifice. It's getting rid of the spirit of selfishness to actually work as a body for a change and not undercut each other, not undermine each other, to understand what Christ came for. To sacrifice for a nation. So with an Israelite comes what? Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir.
I need you to go to Deuteronomy, the 11th chapter for me. It's all good, but let me go back to Egypt. Folks, what we call the awakening, the Gentile devil worshiping, blood drinking, child sacrificing Gentiles coins the age of Aquarius, the great cataclysm where they'll have to come against us, knowing that they can no longer control us. And why do they need us, folks? They need us because their tower isn't complete yet. You cannot complete your tower without slaves. So spiritually, they're building that Tower of Babel all again today, like they did way back when the whole earth was in one speech and one mind. Hence the reason they want to get these serums, these vaccines in you, so that they can unite all people into one mind again, and to turn off the God gene and to get everyone in the earth in one spirit, to pray and to be in one spirit under Satan, to finish his work here. This is religious as well as prophetic. It has nothing to do about a disease. Okay? It has everything to do about assimilating people into one mind. They're not finished yet. So they have to get everyone as they can into this one religious mindset to finish this tower. NASA, China, Russia. Why do you think they're out in space right now? There's a complete plan in which your energy is needed. Now, this may be going over some people's heads. I'll be going into more lessons concerning that. But if you believe this stuff got something to do with someone getting sick or a cold, you haven't been reading. You haven't been reading, folks. They're looking to switch the narrative from the awakening. They have no power over the awakening. So they needed to stop everything, stop people from gathering, stop people from coming together. Don't even want you to hug anyone. Why? Because we are embracing God without them. We are coming to a higher spiritual consciousness according to the Bible without them. So they had to do what? Change the narrative, even if it meant stop the whole earth. Stick with me here. Elder Lawyer, let's go. Let's go back to Egypt.
Yes, sir. Deuteronomy 11, which verse?
Someone asked, what is energy, folks? Hey, folks, you have to realize the power of prayer. That's an unseen energy. When you go back to the Tower of Babel, folks, they understood that there were certain gifts given to the children of Noah when it comes to the power of prayer, of thought. Even when you look at the earth, everything that was made out of what? A word. It was spoken and it came into existence. Well, that power or energy that comes from the Most High made us. So we have power untapped. The enemy understand what that power is. So back at the Tower of Babel, they was using that prayer, that energy, not for our God, but to unify that under who? Under Nimrod and Semiramis, so that they can pray together, witches and warlocks, to open up portals and all that in the earth. It was prophesied in the book of Isaiah that Satan, Lucifer, fell and he was looking to get back out into the heavens. So in order to do that, our God isn't going to allow it. So he would take the energy that's within the righteous and within the people to help him fulfill the prophecies he made in the heavens from the beginning, to get off of this plane. And that power that he taps into is what God made from the beginning out of himself, us. And they try to tap into that energy. So the Tower of Babel, their whole energy was one force and one mind to help the fallen one. Okay, it's an ideology. And there's the same thing that goes on around that Kaaba stone. They march around that stone in one spirit, one mind, because that stone was an original part of ancient Babylon. Babylon had that stone, Rome had that stone, and now Ishmael has that stone. It's all about bringing people into one consciousness. And you've been hearing that for a long time now. And that's what it's about, taking the energy that should be used for our people when it comes to planning and doing certain things and helping each other and praying to our God and establishing something for ourselves. All of that energy is supposed to be used according to our God for our people to help this place. And Satan is looking to sap all that energy out for himself. See? Let's go with Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse number 1.
Yes.
Therefore thou shalt love the Lord thy God and keep his charge and his statutes and his judgments and his commandments alway. And know ye this day, for I speak not with your children which have not known and which have not seen the chastisement of the Lord your God, his greatness, his mighty hand, and his stretched out arm, and his miracles, and his acts, which he did in the midst of Egypt unto Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, and unto all his land, and what he did unto the army of Egypt, unto their horses, and to their chariots, how he made the water of the Red Sea to overflow them as they pursued after you, and how the Lord hath destroyed them unto this day.
Verse.
And what he did unto you in the wilderness, verse 5.
Come on.
And what he did unto you in the wilderness until ye came into this place, and what he did unto Dathan and Abiram and the sons of Eliab and the son of Reuben, how the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up and their households and tents and all the substance that was in their possession in the midst of all Israel. But your eyes have seen all the great acts of the Lord which he did. Verse 8. Therefore shall ye keep all the commandments which I command you this day, that ye may be strong, and go in and possess the land whither ye go to possess it, and that ye may prolong your days in the land which the Lord sware unto your fathers to give unto them and to their seed, a land that floweth with milk and honey.
Now, hold up, lawyer. Stop right
the
there.
land whither you goest.
Stop right there. That's another reason they don't want you to know you're Israel. Because there was a land promised to your forefather prophetically, that if you knew, we would all work together to receive what belongs to us prophetically, what was stolen from us. But how can that happen if I think I'm a Muslim and my sister thinks she's a 7-day Adventist? And my cousin is saying it doesn't matter, I'm Nuwabek. And my brother is saying that he's an atheist. I don't care if you have an atheistic Jew who's European. I don't care if you have an Orthodox Jew who believe in Torah. I don't care if you have an agnostic Jew who believe there's something out there, but he's not sure, it haven't been proven. You know what they all have in common? They'll all proudly wear the name of Jew, because with Jew comes a prophetic promise for land, and they love property. So even though they may not agree on every ideology, they understand you can think that the Bible and the prophecies of the Bible aren't real, but they use them consolidating everything together under one ideology, regardless of what they believe, to say we were all Jews, because with Jews, our children get property into perpetuity as the promised children of Israel. See, they're not spatting and debating over who's more right than the other. They understand the unified force of understanding who you are leads to what? A means to an end that would benefit the whole. Are you following me here? So you can claim that the Bible is tampered with in the Torah, but they're showing you exactly what you get claiming to be an Israelite, Israeli, or Jew. See? If it wasn't a benefit, guess what? If the Holy Land was African, they would have said they were African and took Africa. There's no promise prophetically and no record. Even when you look at the secular records of those in the Sumerian in the Sumerian text, and those that was in the Mesopotamian area, they all understood the importance of that land called Israel, that land that the Jewish people are warring and bombing over right now. See? Finish reading.
Yes, sir. Verse number 9. And that ye may prolong your days in the land which the Lord swore unto your fathers to give unto them and to their seed, a land that floweth with milk and honey. For the land whither thou goest in to possess it is not the land of Egypt from which ye came out, where thou sowest thy seed and waterest it with thy foot as a garden of herbs.
Come on.
But the land whither ye go to possess it is a land of hills and valleys, and drinketh water of the rain of heaven. A land which the Lord thy God careth for. The eyes of the Lord thy God are always upon it.
And let me
from
tell
the
you,
beginning of the year even until the end.
Folks, this is why even when you look, check out all the laws they're putting in place so that our people don't go into Israel or any parts of the lands over there anymore. They got a place over there, folks, a salt, it's like a salt lake type of river type deal, where you go into the waters with skin ailments and come out totally healed from any skin ailment. Okay. where if you lay on the top of it, the salt, you float on the top of it. The water is so pure. The waters that flows under Lebanon is the cleanest pH balanced water on earth. So that going all the way into Palestine, where the Palestinians are. And keep in mind, folks, this is why they want the land. They're not bombing them because they hate them people. No, they understand the richness of that land that Ammon and Moab lives on. Speaking of the Palestinians, from Lebanon all the way through into where the Palestinians are, is the cleanest water on earth. See? Why am I putting this out there? People are trying to claim that the Bible isn't true, Christ isn't true, and any of that. But yet you got a people who saying they are Jews and are actually getting on this side prophetically what belonged to us. And if the Bible wasn't true, it wasn't right, you would have some people stand up and say, well, hold up. You can't get that land prophetically being Jews. The Bible's tampered with. The Bible never happened. There was no Exodus. But you don't hear people with any ilk and carrying any weight denying their claim that there's a prophetic claim to that land. Why? The reason why is because Ishmael had the land that was prophetically given to him. So does the other nations. They have the land that was prophetically given to them. So if you say that people don't have a prophetic right to the land of Israel, then now what can come into question the prophetic right of the land you're living on? See? So the other nations aren't questioning whether or not there's a promise for that land. And why aren't they pushing back on Esau? You know why? Because they feel the children of Israel have been scattered. We don't know who we are. We've been scattered. We're the body of the dry bones, have no idea who we are as a people. By default, the only people that are left to stake claim to the land is our big brother Esau. He's the only one staking claim to it. He have more right to that land than the Palestinians. See? Listen to what I'm showing you here. With him coming out of the same womb as us. If we through disobedience, if we've been cast off the land, by default, Esau have more claim to that land than any other race of people outside of the 12 tribes of Israel when it comes to blood. And he know it. That's why he's not getting too much pushback from the other nations. They're helping him. And why are they helping him? Because as long as Esau in charge, as long as he's in charge, they'll have a place of dominion on earth over us. They'll get an opportunity to continue enslaving our children. That's why. But if we get in position, Christ's purpose, if we get in position, Christ take all crowns, and we will never serve another nation ever again. See? They must serve. Every one of them must serve according to prophecy. So it's in their interest to help Esau take the power and keep power consolidated. Listen to what we're showing you here. Last verse, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 13. And it shall come to pass, if ye shall hearken diligently unto my commandments, which I command you this day, to love the Lord your God and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul, that I will give you the rain of your land in its due season, the first rain and the latter rain, that thou mayest gather in corn and thy wine and thine oil.
Hold up, lawyer, let me read it. Because you want to know what we can do. What's required by us. being the children of the awakening, what are we responsible for? What do our God require? It shall come to pass if you shall listen, hearken means listen, hearken diligently unto my commandments, which I command you this day, to love the Lord your God and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul. Here is the purpose: to love our God for loving us enough to send a sacrifice to give the children of Israel, our people, another opportunity after being left for dead. He sent Christ knowing that the enemy would always conspire against us, send poisons against us, calling us medicine, send drugs against us, pit us one against another. God seen all this, but he sent a son to sacrifice in this earth to give us an opportunity, because we were the people who were living under the law of sacrifice. So at least the least we can do now that he's given us all this sweet truth, this information, all the information that the enemy have held from us, the least we can do is love him with all of our heart in appreciation and have some gratitude and love him with all of our soul. And if we love him, we do what? We love each other. That's how we show we love him. We show we love him with how we treat and love one another. How can we say we love the Most High, but yet hate our brother we see every day, and not realizing and not understanding that it's the Most High in that brother or in that sister? And it says, it shall come to pass, if you shall hearken diligently unto my commandments, which I command you this day, to love the Lord your God and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul. That means this is the purpose of our existence. And it's not like you're giving up anything for doing so. Look how long we've put our heart and soul into Babylon only to get nothing in return. It's not like you're going to lose. You're going to actually be blessed and have your family blessed by giving your heart, your soul, your life to the God who made us. You'll never regret it. You'll never regret it. Satan will make you think that if you step out on that level of faith to love the Most High God, that you're going to lose something. But Christ is letting us know. He told us, in order for you to gain the life to come, you must lose this life. And you don't realize how sweet it is until we lose this stinking life that we thought we had anyway. We're really withholding the blessings of the Most High by holding on to absolutely nothing. Listen to me clearly now. Elder Lawyer, let's go into.
Yes, sir.
Let's go into real quick. Only two more scriptures, picking up the plow. Because what happens is we become Israelites. We know we Israel. We find the truth. And what happens? We become stagnant. We forget our cause. Some of us believe that this is like anything else. Like, okay, I used to be a Muslim, but now I'm a Christian. You think this is the phase. There's no such thing as a person who used to be an Israelite. They can be on YouTube telling you this, but you can't escape your thoughts and your conscience and the truth the Most High have instilled in you. You can lie to the people, but once you know this truth, it cannot be undone. And it doesn't matter how much you try to ignore it or act like it was just a phase. Folks, I'm speaking from experience. I went through that, thinking that I could deny certain things, and by denying it, that I'm not accountable to what I know is true according to the word. I went through it. Oh yeah, those Israelites, yeah, they was off, blah, 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 yeah. But you know what? It wasn't the Israelites who awakened me from this dead sleep. It was God. It was Christ. It was the word. It was the word confirmed that I read in that book that confirmed who I was, even if it was an Israelite who showed it to me. If I didn't read it and logically understand it to know it to be true, I don't care what man could have came to me. I had enough sense to know that whether or not this man was what? Telling the truth, or whether or not he was a liar. What confirmed the truth for me was when I read that book, when I read of those slave ships, when I heard of the conditions of our people, what we've gone through, and I paralleled that with our plight in America. And I'm like, you can't tell me this is white people. You can't. There's no other people on this earth can stake claim to what I'm reading in this book. God confirmed that. And even when I tried to ignore it based on me being upset with other people and whatever the case is, at the end of the day, the Most High was like, well, listen, those are people. I did nothing to you. I awakened you. I gave you the truth. People are going to do what they're going to do. But you take the words that I've given you and serve me. People will fail you every time. And if you stop following the Most High because of people, that means you didn't believe in the first place. So I had to get myself up, brush myself off and say, Lord, listen, where do I start? You start from the beginning. You go out and you just teach in the street. I got the rest. See? You put that into action, and then the Most High will begin to work. The angels will work for you. But never cut off your blessings because of people. Because it wasn't the people who awakened you. That's why I told Lawyer to go to Hosea 6. God has awakened us. And with that awakening comes a personal responsibility that we have to him. Regardless of what man is going to do. Because when we stand before the Most High, guess what? No one else is going to be there. It's going to be you and him. Let's read it, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. St. Luke chapter 9, verse number 57. And it came to pass that as they went in the way, a certain man said unto him, Lord, I will follow thee whithersoever thou goest. And Yeshua said unto him, Foxes have holes, and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man have not where to lay his head. And he said unto another, Follow me. But he said, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father.
So
Yeshua said unto him,
believe it or not, when this truth hit you to the degree in which you're being compelled to do something, all of us can have an excuse to why we didn't listen or we didn't pick up our plow, because there's so many complexities in life, right? We can always have an excuse to why we're not doing our business that the Most High requires for him. Suppose Christ would have been like that. Suppose Christ was like, it's about my life. It's about, I got all these powers for me. I got all this for me. Suppose it would have been like that for him. When he says, he made it clear. He said, listen, I can have everything. And I chose not to even have a house to lay in. I'm here to sacrifice my life for you. And you talking about what your father talking about or what your family's going through. What is your responsibility to the Father? Is what Christ is highlighting here. Are you doing that? I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Well, let me go bury how many times I've seen brothers and sisters. I had a brother call me and talk about, yeah, I got this on the table, that on the table. I can do this and I can do that. As if you can bribe your way into a kingdom. And I'm like, listen, I don't care about the stuff you have. What do that mean? What's in you is more important than possession. The Spirit of God that's in you can do more than what you can go get to try to help something. So all this, my job is to go get this and get that. No, the Most High require work. He require you to put your hand to the plow without expecting anything, just to do the work, and he'll reward on the other side. That's the real work. How many people have promised me? Every person that claimed, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, that was just a reason for them to just go ahead, continue with their life. And guess what? It never came to anything. It never came to anything. So I don't care what your job is, how acclaimed you are in this world. The most you can do is help wake up God's people. Okay. Because everything we have here, these material things, and yes, material things are good. But guess what? Moth and everything, bacteria, mold, in one day the elements will take over. All these things that we think are important. Okay. Let's read it, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. St. Luke chapter 9, verse number 60. Yeshua saith unto him, let the dead bury their dead.
Come on.
But go thou and preach the kingdom of God.
Preach what?
Verse 61. But go thou and preach the kingdom of God.
Preach the kingdom of God. Read.
Verse 61. And another also said, Lord, I will follow thee, but let me first go and bid them farewell, which are at home at my house. And Yeshua said unto them, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of God.
Look at that. And this is what I understood years ago. How can I start a work, teach, and do all these things, having a gift to be able to what? Help our people see. How can I have all the gift the Most High has given me just to go and just work in this world and ignore the prophecies unfolding, daily? I done picked up the plow and did all this, and what I'm going to do? I'm going to go just clock in and become some corporate guy somewhere? No, the Most High said, well, no. No man that pick up the plow and turn back is worthy of my kingdom. This ain't something that you can pick up like a religion. This is the work. This is the work. Each day you build a brick for the kingdom of heaven, and you pull one brick out of the building of Babylon. Every kingdom brick we take, building God's kingdom, we're taking another brick out of the tower of Babylon. That's our position. That's our work. And what I'm going to do, go back and build a tower? You're not worthy. We're not worthy. And see, this is what he said. He says, listen, but if you do what? Finish reading it, the lawyer.
Yes, sir. Verse number 62. And Yeshua said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of God.
And that's crystal clear. If you look back, you're not fit. So all these people are saying, well, I used to be an Israelite and I used to be that. No, you're lost. And it's okay. I've been there. And what happens is, what brothers and sisters make a mistake with, you more focus on man than the prophecies that were showed to you. Okay, you will be focused on man and focused on man. And as soon as a man do something you like, you dislike, you'll begin to equate that with the word. No, the word is right. You stay right with the word. Christ says, woe to the world for offenses shall come. So if you are offended, whatever the case is, never look back with your original obligation when it comes to the Most High, because men aren't giving out rewards. Christ is. That's a mistake people make. They get upset. They get offended. They do this, they do that, and they forget. And they begin to equate that with, okay, well, this must not be the truth. Or think you're going to get someone else mad, or you're going to affect someone else if you turn back. Even the person that you think isn't this, that, and the other, if they stay in working and they repent and put their hand to the plow, they're going to get their reward. See, they're going to get their reward because they didn't stop. They're going to be bumps in the way, especially when we're dealing with people who are just learning what it is to walk and to operate with one another. So there will be abrasiveness. There will be some learning curves. It's been a long time before we came together as a nation. But that's why Christ came in that example when he says we must bear one another burdens, that we must be patient with one another, not be short to cut each other off. Now, this Sabbath, I'm going to be going into, I'm going to be talking about Lazarus. How when you look at that valley of the dry bones, reviving from the grave, well, leading up the Passover Sabbath, leading up to Passover that week, Christ rose Lazarus from the dead. He took a man out of the spirit within the bosom of Abraham after 3 days dead and brought him back. Distance. And the Pharisees and scribes, they was like, listen, there's no way Christ can show up at the Passover. He was the talk of the whole town, resonating from Israel all the way to Rome. This new superstition of people rising from the grave. How can we stop a man who can actually raise dead people? See, and the Romans feared this. Because why? Esau lives through the sword. His greatest power is controlling people with the fear of death. So what good is that power if you have one walking the earth that if Esau kills, he'll just bring back and become a part of his army? So Esau was shaking in his boots. The Pharisees and scribes were shaking in their boots, saying, well, what can we do? He cannot show up at the Passover, because everyone is going to know that he's the one. He was the one that was sent. And all of our positions that was given to us by Esau, by Rome, will be taken. We must kill him before Passover. I'm going to be going into this leading up to the Passover, the real Passover, which begins Friday of next week, sundown. The real Passover. The Passover that's being kept in heaven. 2 weeks from the new year, the second Sabbath from the new year. This Saturday, I'm going to be breaking down Lazarus. I'm also going to be going into the spiritual realm, breaking down the spiritual realm from whence Lazarus was taken. So when it says, when you go in Ezekiel 37, he says that these bones who rose from the grave are the whole house of Israel. Folks, that story of Lazarus being raised from the dead in what? Is foretelling what? It was a foreshadowing of our awakening. Elder Lawyer, let's get the last scripture. If you love me, keep my commandments. Let's get that. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. St. John chapter 15. Let me get it here real quick.
Let's go to 15 and 10. Around 15.
Yes, sir. St. John chapter 15, verse 10. If ye keep my commandments, ye shall abide in my love.
You shall abide
even as
in
I kept
my
my
love.
Father's commandments.
Come on. Read.
Even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love.
If you keep my commandments, you shall abide in my love. Even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. I don't care whether or not a person is a preacher, whether he's a teacher, it doesn't matter what it is. If he's telling you to break God's commandments and that you can ignore God's commandments and you're covered by grace, he's the son of the devil. One thing about our God isn't the author of confusion. And he requires obedience. And disobedience is as the sin of witchcraft. Don't let these bootlick preachers out here try to coax you into believing it's okay to live in chaos and disorder and to believe that our God is okay with that. The only way you show your love to our God is to keep his commandments. That's how you show your love. That's how we show our love. And guess what? That also reflects back here, down here on earth, and how we interact one with another. John 14 and 15. Let's read that, Elder Lawyer. Let's end that there. And I can take phone calls for 15, 20 minutes, and then we're going to get prepared. We have a lot to do between now and Friday. Okay. Keith.
Yes, sir. St. John chapter 14, verse 15. If ye love me, keep my commandments.
Read that again.
Yes, sir. If ye love me, keep my commandments.
If you love me, what?
If ye love me, keep my commandments.
If you love me, keep my commandments. Read. If you love me,
verse number 16.
Keep my commandments. Go on.
And I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter,
and
that he may abide with you
He
forever.
shall give you another comforter, and that's the Holy Spirit. And that one, because it didn't say he in the Greek, and that one would do what?
He may abide with you forever.
And he will abide, or that one will abide with you forever. And it's really Christ abiding with us through the Holy Spirit. Now, and it's that spirit that has resurrected a nation. Folks, and this is why I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, folks, don't get caught up with the media distractions, whether it be this cold they're trying to get put out there to make everybody believe that something is really going on. Don't take this stuff. Don't get caught up. Another thing is, don't get caught up in the media when they're showing you what happened in the 60s and all that, and what's going on with the Black Panthers and all that. These are good movies and they have good information in it. But you have to ask the question, why are they showing you this? If you're going to show proper history that could benefit our people, We don't need to see what happened with the Nation of Islam, the Black Panthers, or anyone else. Okay? Where's the caricatures of the Israelites, black people, in the Last Supper, showing the crucifixion of a black man who died, that's right, on a crucifix, and betrayed by his brother, another black man, for the sins of a nation, being that sacrifice prophesied from the Old Testament. So if you're going to show some depictions of history that's true, let's start there. Don't do anything to try to get me incinerated against another race of people and all this other stuff that's going on that have no long-term benefits that we all can rally around as a people. You don't got enough people of our people who can resonate with the depiction or the characters that was in Black Panther or the Nation of Islam or whatever the case is. Nah, you know what unite us? Telling people the truth, that we are in fact the same people who walked through the Red Sea, and inhabited Canaan, that we are in fact the children of Israel. Tell the truth for a change. Let the world know that we are in fact the valley of the dry bones. And guess what? We don't need a symposium on this. We don't need a discussion for this. We don't need a council. We don't need to get together and have a luncheon and to discuss a council to discuss Black Jews. We don't need none of that. Tell the truth. Or not. Who cares? The Most High is going to do what he's doing anyway. Our message is for those who have an ear and who can understand. According to Christ's words, according to the Bible. To seek and to build today amongst our people our future. Our future beyond this land. Our future according to prophecy. And it starts with how we sacrifice for our nation and love one another now that we have awakened. The Gentiles are doing exactly what they said they was going to do in this age of Aquarius. Now that they can no longer control us, they are working politically and otherwise to circumvent us, to co-opt us, and to kill us off and pick us off one at a time. They're doing exactly what you knew the devil would do. So I'm not going to begrudge what the devil is doing. The devil is going to be the devil. But what's up with us? What's up with our people? How long are we going to keep falling for the same lies and con jobs and trust these devils who have always destroyed us and never mean good for our people? When are we going to say, you know what? It's time for us to take our energy, our spirit, and our love for one another as God commanded to use as a benefit for us. And by doing so, the whole world benefits. But how can we get the whole world together when we can't get along with one another? So it's time for us to love each other like Christ loved us, give our life for each other, stop selling drugs, stop disrespecting one another, love each other like Christ loved us, and be prepared if at all odds, it doesn't matter what goes down, to die for what's right. Even if it means our life. That's what Christ did. Have our life mean something. Have your life mean something. Stand for something, starting with building a legacy for your family as an Israelite in the spirit of Christ. There's more I would like to go into, but it's okay. We're coming into the Passover week. We're getting things worked. I just spoke to some people today to make sure we have our tents set up and everything that's needed. We have all the clearance that's needed, legally and otherwise, to put on a great holy day for the Most High next week in the name of Christ. And we thank you all for all your support. And we're going to broadcast this for those who would like to see it next week. And that's going to be Friday sundown next week to Saturday sundown. We'll have two separate events and two separate holy days. The communion Friday night and the Passover celebration Saturday. We're going to start around noon and move that into the evening with festivities. We have a play that Sister Shirley is doing. We're going to also have the GOCC network there Friday before sundown, before it goes in, so that we can support one another. And we're going to be having this throughout the four corners of the earth. It's going to be here. It's going to be in different parts of America and overseas. And again, I want to say a humble thank you, brothers and sisters, because a lot of this wouldn't be possible without your support. Be it the academy or be it what you send to donate, whatever it is, we're putting this back into our nation, back into our people. So when there's no food, you're going to know that we planted. Okay, when it comes to seeds and gardening and farming, we're putting everything into use, seeing how they about to put the squeeze on our people. There must be alternatives when it comes to food, because guess what? They're going to have food for vaccines soon. You can get food in exchange for what? You got it. A dirt gnat, a time-released disease that can kill you at any point. So, first of all, I'd like to say thank you for that. If you want to donate, you can go to, if you have Cash App, you can go to $ GOCC 144 donate. Okay. $ GOCC 144 donate. Okay. And that can help towards the broadcast. That helps us do what we do and to prepare even when you're not preparing. Okay. If you want to become a part of the academy, we got a new one coming this week. I'm going into Esau, the German, how he actually had a stronghold as Edomites chronologized through history in Germany. And I'm going to go into that whole thing, what really happened back there, but I can't talk about it here, but I'm going to talk about that in the academy. How, the PR campaign to swing the sympathy from the blacks who were suffering in America to another demographic, another group, using a political scenario to shift the sympathy that was in America for blacks. They strategically came up with a plan, and I'm going to go into that this Sunday in the academy, breaking down the four beasts of Daniel, and going into the cunning, deceitful Esau. Okay. And I'm going to be going into that this coming Sunday in the four beasts of Daniel. So you can come if you want to be in the academy. Of course, we have another one coming up. It's probably too late for you to get into this one. We're in week 9 already. So I don't want you to put all your money into this academy. And we're only 3 weeks before we go into a new one. So if you're interested in the academy to come, go to gatheringofchrist.org, or better yet, go to historytimes.org, historytimes.org. Okay. If you go there, you can enroll and it'll get you a seat reserved for the next academy that will come up in about a month from now. Okay. And again, brothers and sisters, we cannot do it without you. We have a lot of work to do. And we are going to have it, especially in the Pennsylvania where we're having it at the Passover. We will have valet. So we're going to set up the valet so that brothers and sisters don't have to all go all over the place and have traffic jams. We want it to be totally organized and it's going to be all white. Brothers and sisters are going to be served like the prince and princesses they are. Okay. And it's going to be a great, guess what? We're going to serve our brothers and sisters. Understand? And we're going to let you know how much we appreciate you with these holy days, and let you know, well, listen, this is what a special people, this is how a special people do it. This is how God's people, Christ's people do it, in celebration and respect of the heavens. And we're going to give all honor and praise to AHAYAH by Hashem Yeshaya will Ruach for the opportunity. Next Sabbath is Passover, folks. Next Sabbath is the true Passover. All right, I want to put that out there. And if someone have any issues with that and try to question that, you ask them, well, how do you declare a new year? How do you declare Passover? And if they tell you by the moon, say, well, okay, there's 6 months of a lunar year, 29 days. 6 months of a lunar year, 30 days. When you put those together, a lunar year is 354 days. How many days are in a year? They will tell you, according to their calculations, 365 or whatever the case is, and say, well, under your lunar day, days are missing. So how can you calculate the Passover, which is using the moon? So get on course with the Sabbaths. So just use math on them, folks, because a lot of people that are doing it haven't even done the math. A lunar year is only 354 days. 6 months is 29 days. 6 months is 30 days. And that's your cycle for the lunar moon yearly cycle, which actually follows the sun in its course. So you need the sun and the moon together to calculate, because in the beginning, the Most High made what? He made the greater light and the lesser light. See? In the beginning, it breaks down on the days that he made the what? The greater light and the lesser light. He didn't just make the moon by itself. So that's where they're going off at. And we began to go off like that in Babylon. Hereby, according to doing so, we end up going into captivity, serving white people and everyone else. Okay? So that's it, Elder Lawyer. I'm just going to open up the calls real quick, and I'm going to just release you real quick so I can do that, Elder Lawyer. Again, if you want to donate on Cash App, it's $GOCC 144 donate. Okay, so donate if you have Cash App. If you don't, go to gatheringofchrist.org, and I'm sure if you hit donate, there's something on that list. There's one drop down on that list in which you can probably be able to donate another way if you don't have Cash App. Okay, there's other options, credit cards or whatever the case is, to support the work. And we do appreciate, I want to say this, we do appreciate your continued physical support of the work, sending us what you can to help the work, and we're putting it to good use. Believe that. We have an Africa initiative we have to go through. We have to travel. We have to do a lot of different things, and none of this would be possible without your financial support. So again, thank you, brothers and sisters. And what I'll do, Elder Lawyer, I'm going to hang up with you, and then I'm going to bring in the calls. Okay?
Yes, sir.
I'm only going to take calls for about to 10 o'clock, and then I'm gonna have to break down. Okay, unfortunately. So let me jump right in and do that. All right, 1 second. All right, 1 second. Let me take in the calls.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
Okay, jumping right in, brothers and sisters. I have to go. I can't be on too long. I can only take a few calls. So let's go down the line. 347 area code. 347, you're live.
Good evening, Elder. I just have one quick question. I just wanted some clarification on actually the celebration of Passover. Now, I understand that our forefathers ate the Passover meal with what, as we know, as Friday evening. Is that when they ate it?
Well, you have to realize you have to realize that Christ kept the Passover with his disciples the night before, knowing that they was going to come get him. That's why he kept it early.
Okay. Well, the original Passover, was it on the Friday, what we know as Friday evening?
All right. It's like this. When is the Sabbath? I'm asking you, when is the Sabbath?
The Sabbath is Friday sundown. The Sabbath is the last day of the week, Friday to Saturday sundown.
Okay, so if we keep the Passover within Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, we're within the Passover. So we're not going to grasp at straws.
Okay.
We're not going to grasp at straws on what hour to take it between the Passover. The Passover is the Passover. As long as we do it within Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, we're keeping the Passover.
Okay, but now my question is, now they left out on what we know as Sunday morning.
Hey, sister, listen. I'm not going back and forth with you. I just answered you. Okay. If you want to do the Passover a different time,
okay,
you can do so. No, you're not going to ask no more questions on this, sister. That's it. That's it.
Okay.
There is no more questions.
Well, I just want to know.
No, sister. See. Here we go. See, brothers and sisters, what you just heard is our problem. The question is, why didn't you go to your pastor and to ask your pastor why he wasn't celebrating Passover when you were celebrating Easter? Why didn't you call up the Jewish people and ask them why aren't they doing it on the correct day when they were doing it on the lunar days? So it's almost underlying disrespect and resentment and disrespect that happens. And they think they can just outright disrespect people who the Most High sent to teach when they wouldn't have known any day of the Passover if we weren't sent. So what we're supposed to do is break down and do what she tell us to do. When it was a one time, she didn't know anything until she seen our lessons. Now you see what the prophets were dealing with, what the teachers were dealing with, what even Christ was dealing with. But I'll pray for the sister. Because believe it or not, the answer I gave her was appropriate. That if you have any confusion about when you're supposed to do something, you know the Sabbath is from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. So when Friday sundown kicks in, there is no leavened bread on Friday sundown, because that's when the Passover begins. So from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, it's the first day of unleavened bread. And if you want to have your ceremonies, you can eat any time in between there. Christ had his day with the disciples a day in advance, knowing that they was going to kill him. Okay. A day in advance is when he told them to get together. He says, I'm going to have my Passover with you. So maybe, sister, I don't know. Maybe you want to teach. You're open to do that. Get a YouTube page, get whatever you want. And we wish you Godspeed. But we're not listening and we're not looking. You got to find out what you want to be. If you want to be the Gathering of Christ Church verifiers, knock yourself out. Okay, but we're going to continue to do what the Most High have guided us to do. And you notice, brothers and sisters, how I tried to be very respectful and listen from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. You know when the Sabbath is. Eat what you're supposed to eat in between that time. You don't got to do it when we do it. You know, did we do enough work by showing you the day when you didn't know it? And that's the underlying disrespect and resentment we get by our own people. But the Most High is going to put it to an end. We're not going to have no women out there disrespecting like that, overstepping. Okay, get in order. Let me just put that right out. Just you get in order. That's what's wrong. Okay, you didn't tell your pastor who was doing the James Brown with a Jerry curl on Easter what day they supposed to be having it, eating pork chops and chitlins, but you're going to try to tell us what day we need to do it. You can save it, sister. We don't want to hear it. Next. Let's see. 760 area code. And you know what's deep about this, though, folks? Oh, I'm gonna bring you in. You know what's deep about this? I need y'all to really listen to this. In the early 2000s, they had the Messianic Jews between the early 2000s to 2015. You had Messianic Jews beginning to invite our people, a lot of sisters, into some type of new Christianity where Jewish people were at the helm, which were doing Passover and all that. And you have never seen our sisters question Jewish people on the days they celebrate Passover. If so, I challenge anyone out there for you to find me one video of a sister challenging a rabbi or a Messianic Jew on the day they celebrate Passover. One. But here it is. We go through all the work that the Most High bestowed upon us to give you the correct calendar. And you're going to tell us how to do it. Boy. 760 area code.
Hey. Yeah, Elder, I was just trying to see if y'all still gonna make that documentary, man.
Well, it's on the docket if we have time. Anything else?
Okay.
That's it. That's all.
Just making sure.
That's all you got?
No, that was it. That was all I was calling in for. Yeah.
And another thing. See, another thing is we're not going to deal with the deceit. I have a question, but yet you're coming with a statement. That's deceit. You don't have a question. A question is, I have a question, and you get an answer. But this, I have a question, is to get space enough to shut you up to bring nonsense. Okay? That's deceit. You don't have a question. Okay? You have a mind towards what you think is right, and you believe we're wrong. And you have the right to do that. I'm not going to argue with you. We're doing what the Most High have given that put upon us on our plate to do, and we're executing that. See? So be careful when you have people talking to you. And hey, If you would do this with elders, I don't know what you're doing at home. But you're not changing nothing here. Okay? We don't allow Jezebel to operate. Okay? It don't work like that. So you're not going to come with, well, I got a question, but really you need space to bring something else. That's conflict. That's chaos. And it's something that can't be, guess what? It cannot be tolerated anymore, knowing that we have a short time. Save that for someone else. Next call, 313 area code.
Yes, Shalom, Elder.
Shalom.
Can you hear me?
I can
Hello?
hear. Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, Shalom. Yes, I wanted to say, you had said something earlier about, how they call us the dirt of the earth. And I would just be thinking about a lot of stuff as I watch the lessons, pray, read and everything. And it was resonate like, yeah, they call us the dirt of the earth. And that's basically, I was like, maybe that's a little secret they telling who we are right there. Because we are from the earth and we are created from the dirt of the earth, and that's beautiful. So I was like, so next time, if anybody do ever say that to us, like, oh, you the dirt of the earth, we could turn that on and use it for good, where they'll be looking crazy like, okay, well, like, dang, like, because we are from the precious dirt of the earth that God created us from. And that's all I wanted to say. And thank you for, your constant delivering of the message we need to have in these end days.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to run it. They treat us as if we are, but the dirt of the earth. But I'll never take that as a compliment. We're the salt of the earth. We're the children of light.
We're not.
So what I'm saying is, I'm not going to play word games with them. If you thinking of that in an offense, in what you would call an offensive view, you're using an offensive view. I'm not going to take it as such. But I understand what you're saying, though. I understand what you're saying. But bless you, sister. No, we're not the dirt of the earth. We're the salt of the earth. We're God's chosen.
Bless y'all. Shalom.
Shalom. All right. All right.
Exactly. Shalom.
We got 7 minutes. Let me go down the line. 916 area code.
Hi, Elder. This is Arlene. I'm from California, and I just wanted to ask. I'm new to your content, and I'm enjoying it. And I just wanted to know if you had heard about the article in regards to the Iraq Pope prayer of the sons and daughters of Abraham. Did you see that?
How long ago? I may have. In particular, how long ago?
It just came out.
Okay.
See. I'm trying to go down here and see what it was. A couple of days ago. Oh, March 6th, 2021.
Okay, hold on. Let me
came out and it was just along with your.
Okay, now, because there's a little feedback, so I know there's going to be a little disturbance in between because you hear me a little late. I know that. Real quick, so this was Iraq or Iran? Hello?
No, Iraq. It says Iraq.
Go ahead.
And it says, yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, give me the headline.
It says Pope's prayer.
Huh?
Yes, it says Iraq and then a colon. And it says Pope's prayer of the sons and daughters of Abraham.
Okay, yeah, I see it now.
And it's
Iraq.
the Vatican News.
It says Pope's prayer of the sons and daughters of Abraham. Yeah, I see that. So what about it? I'm pulling it up. What in particular stood out for you with this?
Yeah,
in Vatican News.
I'm going there right now. So if you scroll down to the very bottom and the very last part of the prayer where it says amen at the end, at the very last paragraph of that prayer, it said, well, I'm going to start here. It says, help us to care for the earth, our common home, which is your goodness and generosity you have given to us all. guide our hands in the work of rebuilding this country, and grant us the strength needed to help those forced to leave behind their homes and lands, enabling them to return in security and dignity and to embark upon a new, serene, and prosperous life. I just want to know if you saw it.
No,
I just think that's just a slap face, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm reading it. It's propaganda. I know. Yeah, but
So,
I'll be going. I'll be talking about that probably this Sunday in news. Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure you had gotten it, and I just wanted to. Yeah. Thank you, Elder.
Well, thank you for that.
Have a good night.
I appreciate it. Have a good night. Okay, I can only take one more call here. Let's see. 347 area code.
Okay, I'm going to stupid today.
Oh, she's already take 347. All right. All right. Okay, we got 3 minutes. All right, Sunshine, only 3 minutes.
Hello, elders. Hi.
Three.
Hi, elders. Shalom.
Shalom, 3 minutes.
Hello.
3 minutes. Roll.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, elders. No, I was just thinking that it's so true that the nations can see exactly how the tides are turning and changing, and they knew it before. But to them, they could see us as regal, but lying dormant underneath all that, that we were surviving through the curses, and that they and our own people have perpetuated in our communities. And at one point, they seem to constantly mock our highest state from where we fell, like with movies like Coming to America and Trading Places and Black Panther, and even many more movies now, old and new, either poking fun under just reminding us of what we came from, and also yelling out to those who could see that these blind people are God's chosen people, and they're still blind with their lesser magic, like you talked about. But they knew it all along that this day would come when they thought that the sleeping dogs, which they considered us, would roll tail no more and not be afraid or crouch down. As you were speaking, our power inside of us untapped. The Gentiles always knew this, and they're well aware of it. We're just the only ones that fail to believe it. But once the remnant of us come on one accord in prayer without ceasing, and love and belief and trust in our power and loving our neighbor as ourselves, like you were saying, elders, regardless of the snares of the Gentiles or the rulers of spiritual wickedness in high places, once we realize our God-given gift, we will stay claim to the promise that was never broken, that they claim that's broken, but it's Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that the Most High delighted in. So that promise does matter, because it means that Jacob, Israel, is beginning the new world that follows. And every other peg on the chessboard will fall down even harder than Egypt fell down. Once we are freed from this land of the north, the conspirators know this, and so that's why they're running scared with scissors in their hands to cut us down at every turn. But they won't succeed, because they're on a kamikaze path that will not lead them to the win. And that's all I wanted to say, elders. Bless you and praise the Most High, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
Happy
sister.
New Year. And
Bless
that's
you.
all I wanted to say.
Well, bless you, sister,
Praise
and
the
thank
Most
you.
High.
May the Most High be with you, sister, and Happy
Bless
New Year's,
you,
and have a
bless
blessed
you.
Passover.
Oh,
Bless you.
oh, Happy New Year and Happy Passover.
Happy
Susan
Passover.
Tom.
Happy New
Bless
Year.
you.
Oh, yeah.
Praise the Most.
Bless you. There you go. And you know what? It's time to end it with. That's right. The Most High is calling back Israel. May the Most High be with you all. Stay strong. Stay strong. Matter of fact, to Zion, even better. To Zion. Bless you.
Zion. I was lost, but now I'm found. I'm a child of Israel. I heard the sound. Hear the sound. Please give me the strength to stand today. With my eyes towards the east, show me the way to Zion. I'm on my knees, laying my life on the line. I'm begging, please don't let me fall. Give me the strength. Place my feet, Lord, guide my path. Show me the way to Zion. I opened up the book and see that the apple of your eye included me. And through the tribulation, I know I must stand for a new heaven, a new earth. Show me the way to Zion. I'm on my knees, laying my life on the line. I'm begging, please don't let me fall. Give me the strength. Place my feet, guide my path. Show me the way to Zion. I feel the Spirit calling me, drawing me back home. Oh, it's happened with my family. I know it won't be long. One day you're gonna look for me, and I'll be gone home. Yeah, Israel is calling us back home to Zion. To Zion. I'm on my knees. I lay down my life. I'm begging, please, to Zion. Please don't let me fall. Give me the strength. Give me the strength. Let me God my time. Show me the way to Zion. To Zion. I'm on my knees, laying my life on the line. I'm begging, please don't let me fall. Give me the strength. Place my feet, guide my path. Show me the way to Zion. Yeah. Shalom.